Hello and welcome to our podcast, Just Fade Us. We're just your average people who love competition and gambling. That's it. So tell us at your own risk or avoid the pain of a bad beat and just fade us all together. Either way, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode. So we're going to just do things a little differently since we're both a little tired from the work week and more so just have a natural conversation around sort of the things that we're seeing. There's been some moves in the NFL, some players coming back. What's interesting is that last episode I had talked about how exciting baseball was, and then we get here to the conference series and they've been blah, like just straight duds. I guess the Dodgers series is 2-1, so some can say that's competitive. It's just night to night of the games have been a little boring. You just have blowouts. There's blowout Dodgers, blowout Mets, blowout Dodgers. I guess tonight the trend should be blowout Mets, but I'm not even confident in taking the Mets. And then you have Cleveland, who's just been sloppy in the first two games. The score has been close enough where you're like, oh, that would be good. But if you're watching it, it just wasn't fun to watch. They're actually really in a good game tonight, though. So hopefully, if Cleveland can win, then the series can pick up a little bit. But it's been a little bit of a letdown considering how massively exciting the first two rounds were.
Yeah, and I actually was talking to a friend yesterday, actually, and people have been talking about it. We spoke about it before too, about will there be a Subway Series World Series? I will say I think it would be exciting for the city, right? Especially living here. You got two New York teams. It's a series. It would be. I don't even have to speak on it. It would be pretty crazy, but I feel like there's more to it. I don't not to say that it can't happen and won't happen again. I'm rooting for it. I want it to happen. But I like to think about things in terms of beyond sports, given this world that we enter in this gambling where we start to see more things that it doesn't matter who's better, who's worse, who's injured, who's not injured. For somehow, some way, Vegas always ends up getting their share and crazy stuff happens. But I was telling them that I don't think it happens just because digging a little bit deeper, and I'm not saying I even know any of this for a fact, just guesstimating and playing devil's advocate, if you will. But you got to think about each team's like partnerships, right? And
Mhm.
thinking about like tourism and the money it brings. And a lot of these playoff games, really any games in general, specifically playoff games and even World Series games, they're not for your average person. They're for marketing purposes and
Celebrity.
hosting. Yeah, it's either celebrities and whoever they're affiliated with. They host people not in the suite just to watch the game, but they're having meetings and stuff at these games. A lot of the times, I learned this at a golf internship I used to do because I got to work with the corporate partners section of it. And the whole thing was creating like a space and having it, and it all depended on who the company was or who the partners of the golf association was. But it was like we have these we have these spaces and we build them up and make them nice so they can host,
Hmm.
whether it be clients,
Yeah.
potential clients, and everything there. So what I was thinking was, if it's all in New York, I could be wrong. Maybe it's a good thing, but if it's all in New York and it's not, I think it's either it has to be L.A. or Yankees. We know Yankees go, so it's gonna be New York or L.A. And it's now the MLB isn't. It doesn't have to be cross country. Could have been any teams, but now you're not in two different markets. You're in one market now. Hey, okay.
MLB will be rooting for the
Okay, you're talking
Dodgers,
about the
though.
fans.
It
Yes, the
doesn't mean that
MLB.
they're going to
Right,
set it up that way so that it goes,
right,
but
right.
they will be wanting to dictate it to go that way.
Oh yeah.
And I think this is where we get into our conspiracy theories of, do
Oh
I
yeah. You're a
intentionally
conspiracy
think
theorist.
sports are designed to have an outcome? No. But do I think that there are phone calls made to try to get a sport to go in a certain route, or they don't want this shot to go off? They don't want this touchdown to happen. And I do think they're not going to want a one market team, especially if you think about Liberty is on the verge of getting their first ever championship in New York as well. That's a lot of market play for one city.
Unless New York's up to something that we don't know about, and they're like, we need this, we need this revenue dumped in somehow, some way. But I don't know. People could dig deeper into it or not. It was just something like surface level that I was thinking. First of all, because we've never seen it before. Not that I could think of. Not in the same sport, same teams. I don't think it can happen in any other sport off the top. But yeah, anyway,
Brooklyn, and
well, they're both Eastern
they're both
Conference.
Eastern. Yeah, I was gonna say, so you wouldn't have that.
But I'm rooting for it. I hope it happens. I think that would be pretty fun. But because of those specifics, I don't think so. But I think I'm shocked the Yankees lost today. Or oh, look at that, they took the lead.
The Yankees took the lead.
Yep, yep,
Wow, my friend, that's probably why my phone's going off right now.
yep.
Because Cleveland needs this game.
Judge homered, and right after him, Stanton homered.
Wow,
Back to back.
that's
And
crazy. If they lose this game, they're gonna get swept.
that is, it's. I don't know if I told you this or someone at work because they had a Yankees jersey. I was like, I was telling her that's who I was. I was telling her. I said, the Yankees are going. They're winning the whole thing. They're going to sweep Cleveland. I think they sweep Cleveland.
If they win tonight, they sweep them. I think Cleveland Cleveland needed to win this game, and then I think they put the pressure on the Yankees for tomorrow. But if the Yankees just win this game, it's over. That's deflating to be this late in the game and to lose that lead.
Unbelievable. Yeah, we'll talk more about baseball offline, Ohtani specifically. But
Yeah.
Devontae Adams. I'm sorry, not to. Yeah, but
No,
what do you?
so I was going to move into football too. Yeah, Adams to the Jets.
How do you think that does anything?
No. I was talking to somebody this time. It's so funny listening to everybody on the sports analysis show and everything, and they're like, game changer. We're winning the next 7 out of the next 9. We're going on a 9-game winning streak. Say what you want to say. And I'm like, one player, first of all, is not going to change all of that. You don't have a coach.
Yep.
Rodgers still isn't playing at the best. I get that this gives him extra comfort, but now you create a tug of war amongst your receiving core because Wilson wants to be number one. Devontae Adams gives you another out. I get it, but it's not like Rodgers has been precise with his passes. It still doesn't change the fact that when your offense is playing well, your defense is playing like shit. I personally, does it help? Of course it helps, right? Like anytime you get more star power. Adams is also 31. He's not what he used to be. He's not going to be coming in playing full snaps. Is it an upgrade from Mike Williams? Yes. I just don't think it's this huge. As a Jets fan, let me jump on now. We really have hope that we're going to make the playoffs and go on a Super Bowl run. I just don't see that happening personally. Maybe I'll be wrong and Jets fans can laugh in my face, but I just don't see that being.
And I'm even trying to think of when really any receiver at this point, but I'll be fair and say veteran receivers get traded or go to another team. They never seem to. I mean, maybe Amari Cooper still.
Amari Cooper to me is a better pickup for the Bills because they just don't have anybody. They don't have any veterans. They don't have anybody to fall back on. It's been fun watching the young guys and work what they got, but that gives Allen some security for sure.
Yeah, it almost seems like these
again,
guys.
will he make a huge difference? I don't know. Does he have the same pep in his step? I don't know. We'll have to see.
I will tell you this though, Jets being a dog on Sunday night against the Steelers, I call that.
The Jets are favored.
Are they favored now? It was Steelers minus
Steelers are the dog.
2. It was Steelers minus 2 last Sunday, and if I'm not
They're
mistaken,
not anymore. I think it's Steelers plus 2.
now it's Jets 1.5. Yep. So they opened up as dogs on Sunday, Monday, and as early as I can tell you right now, as early as, if I'm not mistaken, earlier today. Yeah. What's today?
To 17th.
Okay. Yeah, they moved from so last week they were dogs and then they moved to favorites 2 days ago. 2 days ago.
And I think part of it is that this was on I was going to tell you about like injuries and kind of changes. I think Wilson is getting the nod to start.
It's just crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I was listening to somebody else. I don't know how true it is, but they were talking about Tomlin just being an old-fashioned man of my word type of thing. And so because he promised the job to Wilson, that's somebody else's thought, not my own. I don't really know how true that is or not. Maybe it is because I don't see why you would make this, especially seeing how the Bills just ran down the Jets' throat. You want to take away your best runner? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. The Fields could just probably run the whole game and they'd be fine. But yeah, I don't know. So I think that had line movement there by changing that. Jets getting Adams, of course.
It would not make sense.
So yeah, I teased
Never makes
Steelers.
sense. Never.
We'll see.
So it's interesting. I like the Jets for sure to win this week, straight up. What's interesting though about tonight's game, I'll just touch that real quick since it's about to come on in 10 minutes. So I said last week that if you look at starting from week 1, it alternated between covering the spread or winning outright. It went from, I think it went home away or something like that. Today, if that stands true, it would be the Saints at home, because last week was away with San Fran covering against Seattle. And I think they did San Fran dirty and only had them at 3.5 favorites, which I was like, that's pretty easy. So now New Orleans is home, and I get they have nobody. They have nobody. So the question is, do we
They do
follow?
have somebody. they have Alvin, but they don't have Olave, so they're very limited.
They don't have Olave. Wow, I said halale. Olave and what's his name? Rashid
He's out for
Shaheed.
the year. He's now done
Yes,
for the
he's
season.
done. And then I saw someone put names up, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" And I was like, is this a Photoshop edit? No disrespect to the guy, but I was like, "Who is this?" And it
But
was
the Saints surprisingly played the Bucks better than I thought they would, and I know that sucked for you because you had them teased because they went from being blown out to catching up to then in the last 5 minutes just getting dog walked.
I'm gonna do something greedy.
Well, while you're doing that, just a couple more. Cooper Kupp has returned to practice.
Welcome back, Coop.
So he's been practicing. Don't know if he's going to be officially in there, but he's been practicing. That's good for him. Aiden Hutchinson for the Lions, losing him's a pretty big deal on their defensive line. He's having surgery. I don't know if he's out for the season. I think they're being optimistic, but he's probably out for the season. Mike Evans potentially is out. There's been no final word on that. He had an injury in the last game.
For Jet, it's Williams. Mike Evans. Oh, Bucks?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he might be out, might be playing injured. I don't know. And then Neighbors for the Giants has been cleared from concussion protocol. So he should be back for his game. I had those.
Was there any other trades? I know it was Adams' move and you said
Cooper
went to the Bills?
I haven't seen any other big. They've been talking about, what's his name? Hopkins being moved again.
Oh, God. That's crazy. That would be crazy.
His name's been thrown around there. But yeah, I guess all that to say, I like the Bucks at 3.5.
Are they plus or
And the
minus?
Ravens.
Are they
Playing the Ravens at home.
You like the Bucks?
I do like the Bucks.
Okay, Monday night game. 2 Monday night games. That's good.
There are 2 Monday night games, yeah. I'm definitely taking the Chiefs as a dog against 49ers because who's better in the fourth quarter? Who blows? 49ers blow games in the fourth quarter, and all Chiefs do is come back and win games in the fourth quarter.
Are they on the list, the Niners? Oh, not yet?
They're not yet. They should be, though. I'll tell you, they should be. The Niners should be on the list, and Jacksonville should be on the list after that pathetic performance in London.
Philly only -3 against New York?
Yep.
Detroit is dogs against Minnesota?
I know, I was going to tell you, you didn't see Detroit. That was going to be the one I was waiting for you to talk about. Detroit, this is your spot, Byron. You've been wanting to fade Minnesota this entire season. This is your spot.
Oh, my God. This is crazy.
This is your spot right here. If the Lions cannot beat the Vikings, you're never going to be able to fade Minnesota.
Wow. This is wild.
Yeah, these lines, when you were talking about, I don't know if we started recording by then, but we were talking about fake lines. Like the Lions really feels wrong. That feels wrong, especially when you have, if you think about the other, like for instance, let's talk about the Lions in the Vikings, right? You have the Vikings at home as a 1. I guess it's the same with the Chiefs and the Niners, except the Chiefs to me are just better than the Niners. I guess not on paper, but they are.
This is crazy.
And then you have teams like the Jags who are like getting 6 points to the Patriots. And now I'm not saying that the Patriots are any good, but neither are the Jags. Like to be almost
No,
a touchdown favorite.
that should not be like that. That should not be either. I feel like I'm excited because there's lines here that I'm like I have to take. This is wild. I have to take some of these.
They change drastically because I think some of them
Yeah,
already have.
yeah,
But yeah,
that's
some of
ex
these lines, Packers at 2.5 at home too.
well, I do like Houston there. I like Houston,
I
especially
tease Houston.
Houston for sure.
I tease Houston. I might take Packers, especially if it moves a little bit more in their favor.
Yeah.
I do like the over in that game too. I do think it's going to come down to a shootout.
I think there's a lot of exciting, honestly, a lot of exciting. Jacksonville back in where they playing now?
They're still in London. I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be a lot of changes in that organization if they lose to the Patriots.
Yeah, there's I don't know. Do they lose? They can't lose,
They
right?
can't lose. I'm just saying, I honestly was impressed with Drake May playing with the Patriots. I know a couple of picks were thrown, and the
Mm,
score they ended up losing by 20, but to be honest, they were in it to cover for most of the game, and then in a couple of, like, drives towards the end, a pick was thrown, and then it just got out of hand, but Drake May was making that offense look pretty exciting.
yeah.
Rookies in London don't do well, they said. I think I heard a stat, something about they were 0-7 until Caleb Williams played last Sunday, which now makes them 1-7 against the spread. Statistically, the Jags should win, and they should win big in this spot. But is this one of those things where we're like, we've been watching them play? Are they big wins on anybody?
Yeah, I thought they were gonna be better than what's happening right now.
I heard something say that this is the best roster they've had
They look.
since
I think we said they have players on both sides of the ball. They have a team that they shouldn't be 1-5, and 1-5 in the way that they've lost some games. Honestly, most of them are closer than Buffalo and the Chicago, but still, you couldn't beat. I guess Miami had to.
Miami at that time, and they were up most of the game. Remember, they blew it. They
Yeah,
actually had the lead on Miami.
true, true. I know we're done talking about hockey, but what is up with this Buffalo?
I have no idea. Did we even talk about hockey's just that I don't even know what to do in hockey. Hockey's been crazy.
What is up with Buffalo? Oh my god.
Yeah, I've been staying away a lot of. You know who's also been killing me? I've been keep trying to fade the Blue Jackets, and they're losing, but they're covering, and it's killing me. Hockey's been a hard read. It's been a hard read.
Oh my god.
Where you
Man.
think an under would hit, it's like an
Mm,
over before the first period's already over. It is crazy. And I told you about my crazy loss
damn
when I had the game that the Blue Jackets did it to me, where I just needed the one hockey game left, and the Blue Jackets were I needed the Wild to beat the Blue Jackets by 2, and in the last two
it.
and a
Mm.
half minutes of the game, the Wild had a penalty and they went on the power play, and the Blue
Oh,
Jackets.
you went
I for sure thought I won, and then
yeah.
I look at the score. It went from 3-1 to 3-2 with a minute and a half left, and I was just like, "You have to be kidding me!"
Yep.
So that's just how my hockey season's been going. I am excited though for basketball. I wore my basketball champion Boston Celtics shirt
Oh, you got that? Nice.
because we start basketball season next week before the show or next
Hey,
week.
I
I'm very excited for that. Wear my Lakers because I know that's funny to be like I'm wearing a Celtics and then wearing my Lakers. I don't root for the Lakers. However, the Lakers were my moneymaker last year. I don't know what it was, but remember I kept just saying for some reason if I bet on the Lakers, I was winning.
I know it was LeBron 1.5 2-pointers.
It was just 3 points. They just kept it. I was crushing.
Yeah.
I was consistently taking what's the other one? Davis under 1, and then I was taking LeBron consistently over 1.5, and it was like hitting almost majority of the time. So I was just took it the whole year, rode with it. It was a
Yep.
long-term investment that I was doing daily. So I'm excited for that because I actually do like basketball because I can focus on one. It's why Sundays because you can focus on one game if you want and just take player props from there. So I'm excited about that in that standpoint. I haven't really looked into any of the stuff for next week, but that's where I'm standing there. And there's been a lot of movement, right, with players, and so it's a whole new season with a whole new cast, and so we'll just see
Yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah, we're not throwing that in the show. Definitely. It's just another sport to add. Why not?
Add in, why
Let's
not?
talk
Yeah.
about it. We'll be vetting on it for sure. I got some preseason games going on right now.
Yeah, you said you've been doing pretty good with the over-unders in the preseason games.
Yeah, the preseason, yeah. I just feel like preseason sometimes it's a little bit more simple. There's more trends. Actually, years ago in college football, there used to be, and there still is. When I say trends, there's obviously trends from all over, but it used to be more simple. And that's why I liked betting on college football more because it was just essentially, and I don't know if you could attest to this, but if you had a running quarterback, you were more than likely not to just win the game, but favored, and you had your star quarterback in who can run and throw. It's like, all right, I'm going to take you on the spread, or I'll take you on the cover, even if it's the other team that isn't favored. Like it was just like simple stuff like that, and you could just look at who they beat or who they lost to, and it would just be straightforward like that. I won so many times in college football, but now, like I said, it's wacky.
I'm
And
not even
speaking
touching, honestly.
the only thing I'm touching is we got our Clemson 12 o'clock game this week, and it's
We found
at
it.
home. It's perfect. It's everything that I look for when it comes to Clemson. It's a noon game. It's at home, so it's in South Carolina, and they're playing Virginia, and they're laying 21 points on Virginia. And Virginia's not terrible. They're actually call them a competitive team, and you're laying 21 at home at a 12 o'clock and spot like I don't no.
Taking Virginia, yeah.
Taking Virginia. I should just parlay Jets money line straight up. Actually, a couple NFLs, but the two pick that I'm definitely doing is Jets and Virginia covering 21.
I actually liked the Michigan Illinois game. I liked Illinois with the 4 points at
Oh
home.
yeah, yep.
I like that
Yep.
game
Me
as well.
too.
I didn't look at too many, but I did like that. I'm looking forward to the Georgia Texas game. I actually think Texas
Oof.
takes it to Georgia, to be honest.
Yeah, I
But
don't
I
know.
haven't dived too much into it. But for right now, my gut instinct is to take Texas's spread. But that's really all I've looked at. I haven't looked at too much. Yeah, but I'm glad we got. I just was like really upset because OSU really should have won that game. And to know that they had the ball, I think it's like Ryan Day, you know better. You're at the 28-yard line with a minute left to go. You have two of the best running backs in college football. I just am confused as to why you pass the ball to get a pass interference. Now you're backed up 15 yards. And then you get back within, or maybe then you get back within field goal range. And now you're down to 6 seconds. And instead of kicking the field goal, you go for one last play. Your quarterback screws up, panics, and then runs, and now there's
Yep.
no time. Like it just that you literally got to win the game. You were right there. I don't know. Anyways, so that kind of annoyed me. So we'll see where I feel come game time. I wanted to take. I was very torn on this Liberty and Lynx game because Liberty's gonna. I do believe they're gonna win. I don't think you lose. I don't think they lose two in a row, especially if they get to go to home on game 5. But what I'm bringing up, interestingly, point there with Liberty moving on to a different sport, they're +3. And you know how we were talking about this push being like a rare thing? I've now bet on this game in both. I've taken the Lynx on one of them, and I've taken, sorry, not the Lynx. I took Vegas. I took Liberty on a +3 in one series against Vegas, and then I took Liberty against the Lynx on a -3 in the last game. Both of those ended in a push. And then this game coming up is also +3. So I'm like, just avoid the damn spread because clearly
Please do.
this +3 is like
Do.
working for this game.
So something even more and I was in a rush the other day. I had a good ticket. Did they play? Yes. Yeah, they played yesterday. I had a great ticket yesterday, and I did a slight miscalculation, and I was pissed when I realized it. But for every game of that series right now, they've scored more than 40. for the first quarter. The line, I think I was shocked when I saw it because they've been scoring close to 50, if not more, each first quarter of the game. And then the second quarter takes a major dip. And then generally in the half, they're scoring less than 80, 84, 82 points in total for the half. So I did a little parlay with that yesterday, but I miscalculated and thought that the half was closer to 90 for on average, but it was actually closer to 82, 84, and it was at 82. And I would have taken an under usually when it's about right there. First quarter, I was shocked because I think it was 40 or 41 for the over first quarter. And I'm like, they're scoring 50, 51 points for essentially each game. Actually, not even essentially. I think game 4, that was game 4 yesterday. So the first 3 games, it was 49 to 50.
Which is so funny that you say that because in the first quarter, it's been a blowout on one side or the other in all 3 games. So in all 3 games so far, Liberty blew out Lynx twice, and Lynx blew them out last night. So it was like it'd be like 30-10 in the first quarter. So it's crazy that they're reaching that high of a number, knowing that only one team is really contributing to that number.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's interesting.
And then it's evening out for the rest, and then there's a shifting because you can see upsets and surprise.
I'll be taking a look at that tomorrow to run that back. And it was the same even with, oh wow, the Yankees are about to run this score up. Jesus.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah, it's still 4-3, but they got
1-1 in the Dodgers-Mets game.
Oh, I didn't even know that game was on. Jesus.
Yeah, I guess we can. So who do you really like this week? So we said we like the Lions at the +1.5. We like the Chiefs at +1.5.
Yep.
I know you said Clemson. Or we like Virginia, sorry, in the Clemson game. We like Illinois. Was there any big other football games that were sticking? I like the Bucks personally at 3.5. I think the Ravens have been on a good run, and this is a good spot to fade the Ravens.
I like the Jets even at the -1, like as a no-brainer.
You like the Jets. This is the game for the Jets to win, right? If they need it. Otherwise, you're on a 4-game losing streak. So they need this game to save their season.
Taking the Jets. So yeah, I would.
But the Lions and the Chiefs, I think, are the big ones. And then anything else sticking? I like a high-scoring game in the Houston and Packers game.
Yeah, the over in that one. No, it was probably at 50 right now, isn't it?
Probably.
51.
And then you know what? I'm probably going to take the Patriots. If I lose on that one, that's one that I'll lose on.
What
faith do I have in the Jags? Outside of them supposed to be good in.
You think Trevor Lawrence is gonna? You think did they come back from London? Did they just stay out there?
No, they just stayed there.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna lose back to back in London?
No, I don't think they're gonna lose. I'm just taking the Patriots to cover. I'm not taking.
Oh, the 6. Okay.
But
fair.
I mean, they have to win. The Jags have to win. Their seasons. Yeah. It's not even just their seasons on the line. They're not making it anywhere, anyways. But their coaching staff needs this win.
True.
But yeah, that's really it.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you have any? I'm gonna try to keep flipping some stuff and then make some individual bets. But do you have any strategy tips?
Well, nothing major this week. I didn't really, like you said, what the week was. I had to really look into stuff, but I would look at the WNBA thing I just mentioned with the quarter or half bets, and then just paying attention to any lines in football that haven't moved, but there's been either news or injuries or any teams that have lost multiple games in a row that maybe, I don't know, shouldn't have, so to speak. Like we talked about the Jets. That's why I like them no brainer.
I guess we'll just wrap up there. Hope you enjoyed our little ramble for the night. Learned some things, enjoyed some conversation, and go with the Lions and Chiefs because they're really the smart bet. That's what we're sticking with. Your bet, not ours. Fade us.
Fade us at all costs.
All right. Later.